The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Thank you for joining us here in FRC Media. It is time for our weekly conversation with the mayor of the City of Fall River. I'm pleased to be joined by Mayor Paul Coogan. Mayor, how are you this week?
Doing okay, Keith. How about you?
I am doing really well. Thank you for asking. I want to start actually with some good educational news. There's been a lot made about making higher education more affordable here at Bristol Community College. The state has come up with funds to make community college free for students. But yesterday, at an event held at Durfee High School, UMass Dartmouth announced that it is going to be providing free tuition for those that are in need, those families making less than $75,000, free tuition at UMass Dartmouth beginning in the fall of 2025. What kind of an impact will it make on students here in Fall River?
That's going to make a tremendous impact, Keith, because we have a lot of our kids that are restricted by how much money they have and where they can go to school. And obviously, having Bristol where you are free is a big benefit. But if we can go out to a four-year school down the street, then these students will have options, and having that ability to look at the income and streamline the application process, as Chancellor Fuller was saying yesterday, I think that can get more kids into that school. And he specifically called me, Chancellor Fuller, and asked me if he could do it at Durfee, because we already have a great pipeline going to UMass Dartmouth. Obviously, I went there when it was SMU, and they want to make sure they keep that going. It was great to hear from the principal of the school and the superintendent. This is win-win for the kids in the city, for the schools in the city, and for the City of Fall River. It's really positive. I think we can open up that building to people that may not have the financial means to get there, but now they do, and that's just a plus.
I know yesterday the chancellor was talking about the early college program that you just mentioned in terms of a pipeline currently, current students taking classes at UMass Dartmouth. And I'm sure there may have been instances where some students may have been in that early college program, and then when they graduate, they still may not have the means to attend UMass Dartmouth. So this will make a big deal, right?
No, it's really good. I'm glad the chancellor and the senator and some of the state reps were with us yesterday. It's a good program, and again, it's positive. We have to raise the educational attainment level, and this just gives people more access and the ability to pick a program that might not be offered at Bristol Community College. And maybe they'll go to Bristol Community College because there's a program that UMass doesn't have. So let's hope that they work together and coordinate a way to get Durfee kids and other kids in the city of Fall River. Obviously, we have our charter schools into a four-year school or a two-year school and keep going with their education. I think it's absolutely great.
Yeah, no doubt that more options is better for all students across the Commonwealth. I want to shift gears back. We've talked about in the past the future of the Silvia School on Hartwell Street. I know the city took that building over not too long ago. There was an RFP process for people to submit bids on what they'd like to do and potentially purchase that property. Do you have any updates on that? I believe the deadline was late last week.
Right. We had two people that made proposals. Obviously, the one that most people know was in the local media was former Mayor Will Flanagan and his partners who own the Cosmopolitan Dispensary, which is right next door. Their offer is to simply take the building down and create a green space, obviously for right now, where there's some benches, a place where people can walk coming off that exit. They're not going to. At this time, they're not going to build anything there. They just want to clear it. And the other proposal was somebody that wanted to do some renovations. I heard they wanted to put a church in there, but I don't think, when I look at that proposal, after having seen that building, I don't really believe that's feasible. That building has been in a tremendous state of decay for a long time. It's contaminated with a number of different chemicals that we that we know cost a substantial amount of money. If it was just as easy to go over there and, take a wrecking ball and knock it down and clear the lot, we'd be okay. But that's not the problem that is going to be tackled in this. These buildings are contaminated. They're probably a brownfield. It's got to be cleared. And the former mayor and his team, their offer is to do it at their expense and help the city. Now we're facing very, very similar situation with the old police station. Again, we have people in there. I think they're in there this morning looking at the building in regards to how do we remediate that building from the contamination so we can get that building down. It's not safe. Do we have to take it down from the top down and just take it out in chunks? Or can we go in and remediate the asbestos and then take the building down? These are the kind of questions that are being asked and answered on both those properties right now. So it's a piece of property that's been abandoned for a long time. There's tremendous degradation of the building. It's in horrible shape. And if I could find a way to get that down tomorrow, I would, because I do not think, obviously, we always look first to rehabilitate it and get it going. But this building is in tremendously bad shape. And if I can get that area cleared, whatever potential use comes down the road, that's fine. But for right now, just get them down so that we have two less contaminated, unsafe buildings sitting in our downtown area. And then we're swinging right over to the police station next with the same kind of proposal.
Yeah. Do you know what the offers were for those
two
projects?
No. That's not even opened yet. I know they opened the bids and there were two.
Okay.
They opened the proposals. I'm sorry, there were two submitted.
But the process continues with bids coming through. What's the next step? I guess
they're going to have to evaluate it, go to the real estate committee and look at them and say, which one do you want to go with? Which one is doable? Obviously, they want to check some finances for these people to make sure that whatever they say they're going to do, they have the financial wherewithal to do it. If you remember with the, I don't guess, one or two sales, whatever it was, at the old police station, we'd sell the building, and then the people that bought it didn't have the money to say what they were going to do, and they'd try to come back to the city to get money. And what about grants? We want people to walk in there that have the financial ability to do what they say they're going to do, whatever it is. If they can do what they say they're going to do without putting an additional burden on the taxpayers, that's the way to go. If you can take it down and you're going to fund it, bravo. If you want to renovate it because you think you can, which I believe, I'm very skeptical of that, but you have the money to do that, bravo. But that's what we want to know. We want someone with the financial wherewithal to do it, and that they're going to go out and on a serious timeline tackle that project.
Yeah. And you mentioned that it goes to the real estate committee. That's actually something that's a city council, under the city council purview, right? They finalize those agreements and actually make the sale.
I believe those are the questions they're going to be asking. Like, if Keith Tebow's buying it, does Keith have the money to move forward with what he says he's going to do? Or is it going to be, I'm going to go here, I'll get money there? No. We want somebody that can move this along.
Yeah. Finally, this week, coming up on Tuesday, even though voting's been going on for a while, is Election Day. I know I've asked you this in the past. I believe you like to vote in person on Election Day, correct?
I do, but that's just me. And again, I believe we've had close to maybe 1,500 people coming into the government center to vote early. Yeah. We're really getting a bump from the mail-in ballots. I thought the other day when I spoke with Ryan Lyons, I think we may have already got 7,000 ballots returned via mail. So we're going to be in good shape. It's nice to see this kind of participation. And I don't think voting early in the lobby did much during the regular local preliminaries, but it's kind of brought some people in for the national elections. So maybe that's the modifications we'll make. If the state allows us to do that, we'd have our national elections would have vote early, and the local ones, I don't think we got 50, 60 people last time. It wasn't really worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what he said. I spoke to Mr. Lyons earlier this week, and he said that, even this year during the presidential primary and the state election in September, there were, I think, for the presidential, less than 100 and a little over 100 that came early. So it's a lot of resources for not many people, but it's good to see that people are engaged, obviously driven by the presidential election, and we'll see what happens. But we encourage everyone to vote if they haven't done so already, and they need to. If you have a mail ballot, those mail ballots need to be in the hands of the elections office by 8 p.m. on election night on Tuesday, November 5th. All right, Mayor, I appreciate your time as always. We'll talk again next week. Take care.
Anytime, Keith. Thank you.
All right. And thank you for joining us in FRC Media. Have a great rest of your week.